now, this next guy, who we have anointed one of Rugby League's nicest men of all time. 211 appearances for the North Sydney Bears. 17 appearances for the Queensland Maroons. North Sydney director, Billy Moore. Welcome to the Run Home with Joel and Fletch.
Absolute pleasure to be here, boys. Problem I've got, how can you be playing with the Bears in 27 if you sign that on 28? Are you going to be doing some contract disputes? How is this going to work out?
Oh, yes, Brian.
Didn't think about that. Did not think about that, Bill.
Hey, Billy.
Anyway, we can get
Mind you, contracts don't mean much.
No, you're right. You're right.
All good.
My manager may bring out the bullying to get out of it. So, you never know.
You never know. Hey, Billy,
Traumatised.
great to have your company. And can you just take us through when this was when it came out, when you knew this was home, the Bears were coming back. Where were you? Who were you with, and how did it go down?
Great question. I was on actually the Fox NRL 360 last Wednesday week ago, sorry. So I did the show and I asked a few of the journalists, hard-hitting journalists that we had on there, Michael Carey, Hoops, had heard anything. And they went, no, we've heard little rumours, but nothing different to the past 3, 4, 5 months. So I got back to Brisbane and had a few drinks with my wife, which turned into a few more drinks, and then went to bed. And I woke up about 8:30. My cousin texted me and said, "Are we back in?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Turn your TV on." So I turned it on and I went, "Ooh!" And then my phone lit up. I did 20 interviews. So I was in Brisbane. The news to me was sudden, but you thought it was going to happen. I popped a bottle of champagne with the wife, and we loved it. And then from there, I've just been running with the rumour, and the rumours basically crystallised into reality. The details haven't crystallised as yet, but they're going to be sorted out. But details, who cares?
Hey, Bill, what was the sticking point? Because we saw this news, was it 6 months ago, when they said the Bears are in, and then it sort of went quiet. Was the sticking point on the side of the NRL, or was it on the side of the Western Australian Rugby League? What was the sticking point?
Great question, Fletch. I think it was a dual one. You had firstly the structure, the initial structure that it was proposed to take the deal forward didn't tick all the boxes from the NRL side. So that threw a tailspin in because I think the other parties thought it was all good to go. So that caused a realignment of thinking. And then when they got down to the real art of negotiation, you had two massive players in that, Premier Roger Cook from WA, obviously, and Peter V'landys, chair of the ARLC, two great negotiators, two heavy hitters who like to win, basically, toing and throwing back and forward. And all this happened at the time of the state election in WA. So the sticking point there was A, the election, and then B, I suppose the cash or the financial remuneration or package that was involved. So good old cash was certainly near the top of the list, but the structure and the timing all come into play, Fletch.
Hey, Bill, what about junior pathways over there? Is currently, how many juniors are playing rugby league?
6,000 registered players
Wow.
in WA. If you remember in our golden era, boys, when footy was really good, the Western Reds, 95, 96 and 97, it changed into the Perth Reds. There was, I think, 12,000 registered players. Now, to frame that up, only Penrith and Parramatta had more junior players. Rugby League started in Perth in 1948, so there's more than green shoots. It's a tree. There's a big history of Rugby League over there. They've grown and developed. Had the Perth Reds been left alone, like the Adelaide Rams, in my belief, they would have been successful and be still alive today. But anyway, the game itself, so since that time it's halved, but like the Bears, they haven't had an NRL team to follow, to publicise, to drive the machine. So they've halved, but when you think about 6,000 juniors, now that would be more than the current North Sydney district and the Manly district put together. So there is definitely green shoots. The pathway's there, but there's a lot of great opportunity, I think, in Perth because you've got the opportunity, and I canvassed it only a couple of nights ago. It's a beachhead into South African Rugby Union.
Yep.
There's a lot of South Africans there, and it's the untouched, I believe, resource or reservoir of players that we need, and the opportunity to go into South African Rugby Union, I believe, is definitely achievable from using Perth as your beachhead, because it's 8-hour flight there across to Joburg, which I know is not small distance,
No.
but there's a large number of South Africans that have moved to Australia, and WA is the epicentre of that.
Hey, Billy, just with a lot of people are making comparisons to the turnaround time that the Dolphins had, but the Dolphins had an existing club and the ground and all that was there. What sort of challenge do the Bears have to turn this around? Not just, everyone's talking about players and, you know, what about people like yourself, your role in this club moving forward? Who's making all the decisions moving forward? There's rumours around Brad Arthur as the coach, and now today Sam Burgess. And Brian and I are kind of asking the question, well, how is there any rumours about coaches when their boss, the football manager, hasn't yet been selected?
Great question. Great point, Joel. Fletch will hit the nail on the head. But they are what I put in the package of details still to be advised. And I don't think that's going to happen until at least next week. You'll start to see some crystallisation of it, and then it will move fast. There's no doubt it will move quickly. But in relation to the comparison of the Dolphins to the Bears, you are not comparing apples with apples. I'm standing here in Brisbane right now. So what you do, when you form the Dolphins off a very similar runway in time, you move players from one side of Brisbane to the other into an existing club that had been going for 75 years. It's one of the largest rugby league clubs in Queensland, if not the largest, definitely the most financial, and it'll be up there with top five, but you can put it in the same basket as Canterbury, Parramatta and Penrith when you look at the Leagues Club and their assets that they have at hand. Now, we're going to move players from one side of Australia to the other. Now, I don't use excuses. I find solutions. That's what you've got to do here. And we are so excited to have this opportunity. But it's tough. But that's life. That's NRL. I remember hearing Wayne Bennett talk about how tough it was to set up the Dolphins, and he wasn't using excuses when they missed out on players. We were the same. We won't use excuses. But you're not comparing apples with apples when you compare the Dolphins to the Bears operation that's going to set up in Perth. That's why we've got to get the best people to do this job. It's uncharted waters, though, boys. No one has ever done a merger between old and new, East Coast, West Coast in Australian sport. We've done Melbourne to Sydney with the Swans. We've done Melbourne to Brisbane with the Brisbane Lions. But this is a unique proposition, and we'll be successful, but there's going to be a huge number of challenges.
Billy, what about, is there any chat about logos? Is there any chat about jerseys, colours? Is it going to be the Bear logo, the Bear colours?
Well, there hasn't been, again, that's the facts to be advised, but the red and black will always be the traditional colours, especially when we play at Bear Park, which hopefully will be on 2 occasions a year. And from there, it comes down to the financial return to the investors, the owners of the club. But they will see the power of the North Sydney brand. There's 220,000 Billy Moores out there that love this brand and been waiting 26 years to fly the flag. So the exact colours haven't been discussed. And in relation to the logo, without trying to be, I suppose, coy about it, a bear's a bear.
Okay.
So the logo might morph, but it will be a bear, that's guaranteed. You got to remember the Western Reds colours, boys. If you remember, it was red, black, white and gold. Yeah. So not a quantum leap apart.
No.
So the evolution and the fact that I suppose the marketing people come into play will take part. And when you think about, just take Penrith. Last year they won the comp in a pink jersey. Yes. But you think Penrith, you think the chalky shoulders. Then you think the Black Warriors. So the black side that won in I was 03 or 04. So it'll evolve. The colours, but your foundation will always be, well, it's the Bears. And the Bears' traditional colours will always be red and black.
And one thing you haven't mentioned, Billy, is to start strong as a new, I know it's got the Bears connotation, but a new franchise. You must start strong with a strong anthem, like our West Tigers, Mitch.
Correct.
The Magpies and Balmain are the heart of the game.
Bum.
And the name of our team,
West Tigers. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to get that. We need to get
What
that
do you reckon,
right.
Bill?
Mate, well, look, just put me in the direction of that songwriter and let me know how we can get that on board. But, yeah, look, the bar's high there. I understand the bar's been set high by the West Tigers. And, look, when I think about the roster that they've created for season 2025, and you know, they're mid-table, and you can see that they're going to grow and develop and get better. Yeah, you realise how hard this competition is. Sitting on the bottom of the table is the 4-time champs Penrith. So we're not. We certainly are not kidding ourselves and knowing how hard this is going to be. Looking forward to the challenge. But what this is all about is getting the right people in the front office, isn't it? Both in the coaching and the administration, and obviously people and minds much powerful than mine are searching for the right people to do the job.
Okay, Billy Moore. He would like blank to coach in the inaugural year in 2028. Billy Moore would like who?
Well, great question. Am I allowed any coach?
No. You're allowed any coach. This is just a hypothetical. This is Bears Head's hypothetical. Billy Moore has chosen blank.
I'll take Craig Bellamy.
Yes.
If I could have any coach, because obviously you're getting someone who, when you look at global sport, there's been no more successful coach of any code on the planet for the last nearly 2.5 decades. We talk about just the number of wins and the ability to cycle through 3 generations of players and not miss a beat. It defies gravity on the table. No one at any code's done that. So you may as well start there.
You talked about great negotiators, and Cookie, you were saying Cookie's right up there. Is there a chance Cookie will get involved? How much involvement will Roger Cook have with the Bears?
I think Roger Cook, and I don't know him personally, but I know he's got a love for the game, and he's been the engine behind making this work, especially from the Western Australian side. I think without a doubt he'll be the number one ticket holder and fan, especially in WA. But no, I think he will leave that to people that have had years of experience. Because we all know one thing, boys, there's rugby league and then there's rugby league politics. And, you know, when you're dealing with player managers, you've got to have a certain level of shrewdness. And I'm saying that in exclamation marks.
Hey, Bill, I know you're a busy man and you're doing a lot of stuff in the media. You've got your restaurant up there. And you're a director in North Sydney. Will your role with the new team, the Perth Bears, what are we going to call them, is that going to increase, or you're just going to be still sitting in the background?
I'll be in the background, mate, in the chair on the hill at North Sydney Oval, and then I'd like the opportunity every now and then to head across to the new Bears family in Perth. But no, mate, I'm 26 years out of mainstream rugby league, so it's past me. My sole job when I took on the opportunity when our great chairman Daniel Dixon asked me to get involved was solely one thing, just to get the Bears back. So I'm going to make sure that box is ticked, and then be a number one supporter, buddy.
Do you feel 100 men could beat one Bear? So there's this thing going around about the gorilla and 100 men.
Yeah.
Do you feel 100 men?
Queenslanders or New South Welshmen?
Well, Billy's both.
Big point, yes.
So, do you think? I feel a bear has got more endurance than a gorilla. Thoughts?
Oh, a bear would snap a gorilla in half.
Yes.
There's no contest there.
There is. I'm with you.
Actually, the 100 men just wanted to find, are they armed?
No, they're not armed. So it's been going around. It's been going around the wide world web. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
WWW.
Yeah.
Amongst other things, and they're saying, would 100 men beat a gorilla? And everyone's saying, well, the gorilla would run out of steam, especially if he's down in the beach. He doesn't like soft sand. I feel a bear. After I saw what that bear did to Leonardo DiCaprio in Remnant.
Leonardo decapitated.
Decapitated. I feel a bear with those claws. You couldn't get with him. Bears are fiery.
Well, you've actually defined one of the key strike weapons there. The gorilla's got pads. He's got soft
Yeah,
soft
hands.
hands.
He's got pants,
you
but
know.
he's
he's not really, he's a vegetarian, so he's got real sharp teeth.
Oh, of course.
So my bear, he's hungry. He hasn't been fed for 26 years. So I'll tell you.
Yeah. Hasn't eaten for 3 months.
No, 26 years, Bill's saying.
Oh, Billy's, yeah. You know what, the other thing
So I
too,
reckon
Bill, you know what I was thinking about this? I reckon this is going to then strengthen your junior, your Harold Matts, your SG Balls, your Flegs now, because managers will be pushing kids.
There's a pathway.
There's a pathway now.
Yep.
I'd imagine that would have been the reservation of player managers and some players going, oh, look, I'll go to Norse, but there's really no future there. You know what I mean? Do you agree?
Yeah, well, that's a great point, mate. Without a doubt, it's stunted our growth because for 26 years we've had everything in the North Sydney district except the real cherry on top, which is the one that counts. NRL and NRLW. We've had basically every team that you can have from New South Wales Cup and the women's equivalent all the way down through all the junior sides and a local league that actually is growing faster than any other local league in New South Wales. But now this does give you extra impetus. And when you think Jacob Preston come through that system,
Yeah.
you know, the great back row for the Dogs. But we're going to replicate that over in WA. And this is the key thing. We talked about the numbers. We talk about 6,000 registered players. We'll get that to 20,000 inside 10 years, boys.
Yeah.
And the key thing for us is to make sure, and we've let the game down if we don't do this. Inside 10 years, we call it P10, we want to get 5 bona fide WA players in our top 30. That means we've done our job in pathways production, because for rugby to continue to grow, the most important resource is the players, male, female, boys, girls, and we've got to make sure we do our part. And I know WA is busting at the seams. There's truckloads of young talent over there, and males and females, given the opportunity, and we'll give them that opportunity, they will grow and develop, and that'll mean that all of a sudden rugby will continue to grow, because there's more players in the pipeline. Hey,
Billy, we've got to go, and we appreciate it because your phone has been exploding due to the recent news about the Bears coming back. Just a comment on an old teammate of yours, Queenslander, and he's just been appointed for next year, the Wallabies coach, Les Kiss. A word on him.
Superstar. Bundaberg lad. I played 3 years with him at the Mighty Bears. I was only a young fella, a young pup, and he was sort of mid to late in his career, and played for Australia, played for Queensland. He's on the podium for greatest blokes of all time. I'll tell you what he is. He didn't have a rugby union background, left rugby league and went to London, did the Broncos over there, then segued into the 15-man code. What he is a great listener and be a very astute, intelligent man, because to go from Bundaberg or rugby league to now coaching the Wallabies, and justifiably so from his record, Kissy deserves everything he has gotten, and he's going to do a great job at it.
Well done, Billy.
Good on
We
you,
appreciate
Billy.
it, mate. We'll catch you soon.
Go the Bears.
Go the Bears. Billy Moore.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.